And officially, good morning. Welcome to Market Watch Group Wednesday Market Midpoint. My name is Scott. I will be your host. As always, keep in mind that this service is for education and illustrative purposes only. We do not give any information that should be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security or financial product. We're not brokers. We're not advisors, blah, blah, blah. Ooh, wait. What are we going to do today? Let's talk about that. Oh my God, what a great group. It's like a small group, but it's like an all-star group. So I love it. We'll look at the opening. Futures are down a little bit. Retail sales were pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of February and March data that came out that's like, this was a good economy. And whether it maintains that, whether it accelerates to an even better economy, or whether it, turns into something worse, I think we all agree that the administration in place now owns whatever is to come next. So we'll look at the opening analysis. We'll look at our market posture, check in with our market posture and see if there's anything changing or shifting or whatever the case may be. We will take a look and see if there's any trades setting up. And if you were here last night, we sort of talked about, I should have took a picture of it. It was a beautiful picture. Maybe I'll go back to the video and pull it up and then get a picture from there. Outlining, like, what are we looking for here? And it's really confirmation of a bearish trade, which would be a kind of a turn down, or a bullish trade would be a breakout up. If it just sits sideways where it is, we're still going to kind of keep waiting for one of those other two things to happen before taking action. At least that's my thought. So we'll see if today is one of those days. But we do have thoughts in there. As to like which ones we would think about trading, what's on the bullish list, what's on the bearish list, etc. All right. And don't forget, we're working on trading routines this week. Miguel pointed out yesterday, it's a great time to work on your trading plan. Let's dive in. Let us dive in. Okay. Let's start here. Futures. Overnight, they looked pretty good. There was some positivity, but now the S&P futures are down 0.5%. The Dow futures are down. Oh, actually, they're more flat. Let's call that flat. 1% or 0.01%. That's pretty marginal. The NASDAQ, however, is getting beat up a little bit. Down 1.17. Russell 0.14, and look at gold on a surge. Gold on a surge. Okay. What else is going on? Stock futures fall as Nvidia stock weighs on tech. We know there was like a 5-6% gap down coming there. Likely to still be the case. What else? Besant to America's biggest CEOs. Stop worrying. Oh, okay. Just stop. Just stop. We've got this. WTO slashes 2025 trade growth forecast, warns of deeper slump. No. Stop worrying. Retail sales higher as shoppers stock up on big ticket items ahead of tariffs. There you go. Okay. All right. Let's look at the calendar. We know there's not much this week because, right? Yeah. Come on. Everything's fine. Okay. Tomorrow, jobless claims still supposed to be down where they've been. Nothing worrisome there. A little bit of Fed speak. Nothing there. Yeah, now we shift into earnings. So I guess that's where the big news is going to be for us to process is in the earnings. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at the futures and see what's going on. PLTR. You guys know I'm a fan. I thought this right here could turn into something, but it popped a little higher. Now what? We're set to open down a little. Not much yet, though, but we'll see. Let's go to the SPY. We'll do SPY, then we'll do ES before it opens. Then we'll do VIX, and we'll just kind of watch it transition to the open. Ooh, all those beautiful lines. Look at all those beautiful lines. Real quickly. The orientation that I'm looking for is around this level here. And you can see right now we actually are possibly, as we are in this area, that's about, I think, does that look like about 531? 531. So, yeah, actually, if this thing opens in that regard and turns down and stays or even accelerates a little, I think there is potential for something bearish to see if this market's going to give it a run and test downside lows again for a double bottom, possibly worse. But that also, so I'll keep this orange, this potential move here that we think could enter there could also transition, theoretically, into something like that. So if I enter a bearish trade or two, I'm going to be thinking, all right, do we get past this initial zone into the selling? Or does it continue selling down? And when it sells down, that's where we might have a couple of different targets. So that was the first bit of our what if analysis leading into today for this week. And some people said, oh, it might not be till next week. I mean, I disagree. I think we might see it going now. Maybe if it turned into a small bearish move, which then becomes an entry for a potential bullish move, that then could be where we're like, oh. So as of right now, if you were, the other two possibilities we looked at were, what if it just grinds in this range for a while? Nothing. Still waiting for it to break to the downside or break to the upside. And then the other thing is what if we got one of these where it busts and breaks out up here? So as we thought about those potential courses of action, we then watched today and boom, there it does. It opens right where my orange mark was and we're off and running. So perfect. Okay. I didn't need that drawing after all. I could replicate it quickly. What does the VIX show us? Yeah. So, like we said, Old highs, new lows. If this is the turn, and we don't know yet, it's not yet. It's still kind of sitting down there. But if we get, if this turns into more of a selling day, especially if this ends up like this, yeah, there's a good chance. There's a very good chance. Yesterday, if you have been trying to trade intraday, yesterday resulted in a bit of frustration. There's not a lot of range there. We'll see if that's continues as we wait to see if there's more information that the market is hoping to get in order to know what it wants to do next. Okay, there we go. Looks like we're selling a bit into just kind of sitting flat. So yeah, this is we're in an interesting place. Let's take a revisit. Oh, not that one. I told you I was kind of looking at things like this down here, where when you look at the trade log, if you fill it out correctly, it's going to give you a bunch of different data that's helpful to you and specific to you. But if you look down here, one of the things it does is it gives you the date range. You can say, from here to here. That's when my trading occurs, so that I can go back in time and I can look at that market and say, how did the market? Let's just look at this one. This is 925 to 219. Okay, so let's get some lines. 925. Let's say that's about right here. 925 until, God, such a horrible short-term memory, Scott. 219. Oh yeah, I mean, look at that window. Jeez. 219. Okay. That's the window that we have represented in that period of time. And so if you look at that and you say, how would I assess that market? I'd be like, well, it's uptrending. It looked like it was looked pretty bullish. Maybe it kind of kinked a little at the side, but overall bullish. And then we can come back in and we can say, my average market posture was 5.74. Phenomenal. Back here was only 4.66. Which one has a higher expectancy? There's one, right? You can see, is that because I'm so smart, or is it because I have a better market? Then you can kind of see, well, if that's a window there, what happens in this window over here? There's kind of a nasty thing over here. Well, you can see that in that period of time, the average market posture has dropped to a 0.31. 0.31. But we've managed to stay profitable. Some good hedge trades, good pickup on gold, a couple of other good things. Only right half the time, little less than half the time. Expectancies dropped. But there you go. So anyway, I was like, if there was a way to connect it, that'd be great. But you have to just kind of go run the numbers yourself. It's not hard if you have everything logged. And I feel like it really keeps the cycle of data connecting back to the trading is useful. So that way, if you're like, hey, I didn't do very well, then you look at your average market posture score and you're like, yeah, well, the posture wasn't great. So you can, it's not like you're trying to make yourself feel better. You're just trying to make sure you weren't the problem, right? That you didn't mess up by simply just reading the market wrong. So good stuff. Now let's go look at the posture. Let's go. If you're not great with spreadsheets, all you have to do is on your date range is just like click down here. Whoops, nope. There mic. Apparently, I'm not very good at spreadsheets. I do not accept that. Okay. What have I done? Oh, spill it. There we go. Anyway, you can click and drag it, and what it'll do is it'll, if you look down at the bottom now, bottom right corner, you'll see how many boxes, the sum, the average, things like that. So, okay. What's happening right now, though? Long term's probably going to stay the same. We haven't seen anything happen this week that would shake it. You can see here, this week nothing's going on so far. And if this day rallies back up into this no man's land range, we'll just simply be like, okay, nothing. We'll just wait. There won't be anything there for us. Short term, nothing's going to change. Long term, nothing's going to change. Clearly, volume. Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it looks like it's at least stabilizing where we are, stabilizing in this current range. What is it that we're really looking for? Well, we're looking for some sort of mark that the momentum is shifting into something up or down, one or the other. I just got an alert from Glenn to consider, and I was just going to see what it is. Oil, it looks like. Okay. Little 2-to-1 trade on oil. All right, that might come out. We'll see. Very good. Very, very good. All right, so let's go pick up on where things are and go through our watch list. So, yeah. In fact, you can see the buyers seem to be coming in right now. Which, that doesn't like say, oh, well, then that's a flag and we're buying it, right? No. Not if it happens all in one day. If by the time we end today, we are back in this range, right? I want that draw. If we finish back inside of here at all, or even close to it, you can see the buy. Like if this thing just butts right up into here, that's still nothing for me. It's starting to roll. You can kind of see there. This could turn flaggish if it holds like that, in which case we would, find all the stronger stocks, things like maybe Apple, Palantir, things like Goldman, or some things like that. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's get to the watch list. Just on time. Oh, hell yeah, just on time. Just on time for what you needed. I used to do a trading webinar for a service, for a company that would just I would coach for them sometimes, and then I would just do a few, and I would always have a good time, and someone would always, it's supposed to start at a certain time. And, it was fluid. It was a fluid at start time. But he's like, you're late. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This meeting doesn't start until I get here. So I'm right on time. Goodness gracious. Okay. Stop getting distracted, Scott. Bring up some stocks. Apple. That's flagging to me, right? That's what I think looks flagging. I mean, I know it's choppy and volatile. You got to be like, okay, that's the buyers. They got it to there. Now it's coming into this flag type pattern. Oh, okay. Now we see it. Who knows what it looks like? I mean, that's a nice, stable parody thing. Time to be serious, right? 100%. Yeah, so this is what I'm looking for by way of something. If we have just like a nice little tepid pullback for a day or two here, and we're like, oh yeah, the sellers aren't coming in. So if the sellers aren't coming in, we're just switching immediately to look at the buyers. That's what I'm going to look for, is something like that. Now, on the flip side of that, and someone could be like, well, Scott, you could make this argument. Okay, you could. I don't disagree. And this could turn out to be the same thing. But to me, it doesn't have the same level of strength. You're having to draw in all these shadows down here. Really only had 2 up days, and then it's just starting to... This is one that I'm like, you know what? This sucker could really get beat up one more time before earnings if things started to ramp up to the downside. If anyone thinks we're out of these woods yet, you see something different than I do. I still see us having our worst market posture in 2 years, and having dynamics in the market that are, increasing levels of volatility still. So, yeah, I think something like this to the downside, something that just made new lows, something that had a hard time. Look at this, just kind of getting into this gap area, but not much more than that. That's what I would be thinking has more of a bearish fortitude. It's always convenient when my watch list gives me one of each right at the very, very start, and then you can sort of work your way down and say, hey, where would I put this? This AEE is actually pretty strong as I look at it. It's back above the 50. Pull back down maybe to the 100. And then it heads back up to these old highs. That would definitely be plus. Check plus. Yeah, buddy. That's what that marking meant. Amazon. I've got some old lines in here coming back into play that are interesting, but I don't know. I think you could make that same kind of an argument. It's really choppy and confusing. That I agree with, That I agree with. So this did get that push. It has come back down. If it stabilizes here, I don't know. I think I would think about it. Amazon could pull some things with it, Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. What time is it? Plenty of time. We'll think about the range as we get closer to that level. Baba. That's another bear for me. Whoa. There. Yes. I'm thinking about it. It's not an abandoned baby because there's 2 of these guys in a row. You can see it gapped up and then it gapped back down. Now, if there was only one candle there, that would be the legendary and elusive abandoned baby. But instead, it's what I would think is possibly an island reversal, right? Gap up, couldn't hold, gapping back down, leaving a little island up there. If nothing else, that, and then maybe some on top. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at that too. Baba bearish. Baba Booey. Okay. Bank of America just had earnings. Things went well. I'm feeling like financials could be a positive contributor to a recovery if we have one. My thoughts would be what would my thoughts be? My thoughts would be technology, financials. And then secondary would be, I would say, communication services and maybe consumer discretionary, right? Industrial seems to be a little bit like iffy. I have Caterpillar on my bear list more than anything else. So. Okay. All right. What's next? I need my mouse. There it is. BX. No, nothing. Caterpillar. Kind of feels like that could be rolling. Couldn't get back to that gap. I would maybe think about that. CEN. The difference between what I would see for a potential like take now bearish versus a hold for a few days bullish, it's not a big gap. I recognize that, right? It's not like, oh man, those are so different. It's so easy to recognize one from the other. It's like, ooh, those are subtle, those differences. Anything China dependent is in the bear brinks. Yeah, it's teetering. Yeah, teetering. CME still looks bullish. I'd trade that on a bullish pullback. Same with CNP. Both of those look like they're stalling out if you were in them. Cisco's on my technology watch list for, as long as it doesn't break below this halfway point of this big candle, I would say, yeah, it looks pretty good. Delta, still on my downside list. It did get the big day like everybody else, but it just didn't really it didn't hold. I mean, this feels like resistance. I'm thinking maybe something bearish there. That's the Dow. Here's Duke Energy, Fastenal. Fastenal, definitely bullish. Good earnings, big move up. Looking for a little pullback there. FI. Nothing. Flex, I think I'd put more to my bullish side of things. Nothing on Fox. GEV, still more to the bullish side of things. GILD. GILD. Nothing. How do we avoid paying so much for trades? Do you mean by way of like the spread between bid and ask that we've all noticed has increased? Nah, there's nothing we can do there. That's the market makers. That's part of how market makers hedge. They do two things in markets like this. They raise the implied volatility, which basically just means you're because in the beginning, if you're buying and there's not a seller, they're the seller. That's what a market maker is, right? They're the seller. So in the beginning, if they're like, well, people are buying, well, then they're going to jack up the implied volatility in order to cover themselves until they can find someone to be a seller and take that position for them, right? So if they're the buyer, they need someone to then buy that. So they need a seller. And then it takes that from their inventory. And that's sort of how they work, right? Is if everyone's buying, they're selling all those. There's a bunch of people buying calls. They're selling them to people. So now that market maker is long or short a bunch of calls. They don't want to be short calls. So they need to get somebody to match up, and so that's how they look to attract buyers and sellers. Kami says we are in general going to be in a bear market for the next 90 days due to global tariffs instability. I don't disagree with you at all. Our market posture suggests that with our minus 2.5. I mean, look, for me, it would have to move back to the zero range. and then would have to break through that. So I agree. Like there's a lot that would have to happen for me to be like, oh, this looks great. It looks like maybe those of you who held, let's go to GDX. I felt like I was did a good job. I ended up taking it 50. Here we are now at 53. Who's still in this, you sons of guns? I bet Glenn still has a piece of it. What was the other target? Do I still have this up? Yes, but it's been a while. It's been a while. I mean, it was probably around there in 2022 during the bear market at the beginning. Never got much worse than that though during that market. When you get into something like things worse than that, then it will drop. But ankle posture, my ankle posture. So anyway, if you're still in GDX, I think it's getting closer. I think I found it. What was the ultimate target? 54.5. Okay, so you're 2 points away from that. So, okay, I mean, it got a good piece, but 54.5 is up here. God, that looked so ambitious to me at the time. And now I'm like, oh, wow, look at that. There you go. That's exactly right, Kobe. Okay, Google. I do think Google would be like my communication services trying to make a bounce, but you've got earnings just like lurking, so be careful with that. That's a lot of places. Goldman Sachs, yes, for financials. Same with Robinhood. Either of those. How Met I like. That looks pretty good. IBM, Big Blue, but earnings are coming up, so watch out there. Yeah. I mean, to Kami's point, no matter what, I think we all agree that our risk levels, there's no reason for us to be taking a bunch of risk at any given time right now, right? It's easy for us to just pick and choose, right? Pick and choose. You see a nice bull trade, put it on. If you catch it, great. Put a nice bear trade, catch it, great. You're not making it so you're distracted by your other trades. Nah, that's the right thing. I feel comfortable with what we're doing. What time is it? We're good. Look at Coke. Coke made that run. I wasn't certain. I just never put that on. Felt like it wasn't going to get defensive. MasterCard looks like it had a nice run up and could after a pause. Oh, Meta. I thought Meta, but look how far back it's already done. This is it. Like if it didn't stabilize here, there's no way. Microsoft was another one I liked. That's a good leader for tech. That would be great. If this could hold up and not pull all the way back, that'd be nice. Comm services, Netflix looks pretty good. Nvidia. I told you this pullback is fine for me. If this pullback holds up, I think that's groovy. Palantir's hardly even pulling back, man. Beautiful Palantir. I always find I have an affinity for my top three from the prior year. I'm like, we should rekindle our love for each other. Philip Morris, pretty strong, which feels defensive. Roblox, no. Reddit, ooh, that's interesting, right? Reddit, it's kind of on its own, doing its thing. I'd take a stab maybe at something like that. Try to see if this thing's gonna make a run back up near 130. Yeah, it is. It's tough, right? It's tough, which is good. It's like we know, if someone lost a lot of money in this market, my question would be like, well, what were you thinking you were going to get, right? Like you're that guy who's like walking out on the pier with a fishing pole and a raincoat, and it's a hurricane with swells all around, thinking like, Then when something bad happens, it's like, well, what happened? Well, I don't know. You tell me. Okay. Anything else standing out? Look at Rocket Labs trying to make a little run up here. Get into this. Godzilla, indeed. Indeed. RTX earnings coming up. I kind of feel like I was like no to SE, but now as it's developing, I'm like maybe. What are we doing now? Oh, there we go. You can see we're rolling back over. We're trying to make a little run up. As of right now, this to me is orienting more towards a bear trade and maybe putting a put on to see if something accelerates. Even if it's on this. Not necessarily buying puts because puts are expensive, like a bear call spread, something like that. So that's my thought as we look at today. No. TSM, no. Twilio still looks kind of bearish. Visa looks very bullish, strong. Here's the VIX. Yeah, that VIX, it's interesting still today. Finish with Walmart. Oh, I like Walmart. Walmart's setting up for something potentially. So we got a few things that we would pick up if we wanted. Cash still looks good. I agree with Kami that, think about this. It's April 16th. Oh, did everyone remember their taxes yesterday? I got my extension in a few weeks earlier. If we were bullish, if we had just had a bull run, we'd be thinking sell in May and go away. We'd be thinking about the cyclical summer doldrums. There's a lot of headwinds right now because even if we had good markets, there's just cyclical headwinds that the market has to deal with that only compound the situation as we have it now. That's so funny. Kami, me too. And if you look at the rate for what they charge, as long as you filed your extension, right? Just a little bit of interest. The rate that they charge versus the rate that I'm going to continue to earn. And I wouldn't recommend, to a lot of people, but I feel like I'm going to do better for the next 6 months. Significantly, and then I'll pay him. So there you go, you bastards. Okay, everybody, it's good to see you all. Mondays and Wednesdays I get to have my coffee, talk about the market, watch this thing kick off with you guys. It's a beautiful thing. Glenn will be here this afternoon for an hour. I need to talk to him about tomorrow. Don't forget, Friday is a holiday. So we're trying to look. We're definitely going to do Thursday final hour with me. I'll talk to Glenn and see what we can do about the other. It's good to see you guys. Have a great rest of your day. As always, happy trading.
Record.